All right, so again, everything we need to build this pond is inside that kit. So next is our protective underlayment. We're gonna use this not only to protect the liner from anything sharp left in the soil, it also allows gases and stuff to escape through it, so we never get hydrostatic pressure underneath the liner causing bubbles and stuff. So we have just enough fabric here to cover our excavated hole. I'm gonna stay down in here making sure I don't step on any of those edges of the shelf. This is always a good sign. If the fabric fits, we know our liner is gonna fit. If our fabric was short someplace, we know that that rubber piece isn't gonna be enough to go all the way up to my waterfalls and to cover the rest of this. So I start down in the bottom, and I start pushing this fabric. I'll hold this in place here and then come into this shelf and push it down. Don't worry about big giant folds. We're not gonna see them, and it doesn't really cause any problems. This area, I'm gonna end up trimming out to allow my liner to come right up to the faceplate of this. Just take it and double up your fabric in this area and fold this back, giving you that much more added protection in this space. In fact, any place you don't need the fabric later, like some of these corners here, some of these corners over here, feel free to cut this, save them from later, and we'll show you how you can reuse that fabric to pick up some heavier rocks or put them down as extra cushions on top of the liner if you're afraid some of those rocks may be sharp or ruin the integrity of the liner, causing leaks and stuff. So this one's a little heavier. Again, it's the same size as our fabric. We're just gonna unfold this. I'm gonna try to lift it up so we don't pull any of that fabric into the pond. Yep, there we go. So putting the liner in is a lot like putting the fabric in. I'm gonna start at the bottom, start moving this stuff down along the edges, making sure that I have plenty of liner all the way around my edges. Look at how close we are here. This only allows me a little bit more than a foot right here. If we were to take this pond down 2 feet, another 8 inches, this liner right here would be about like that. So we get really, really close. So I recommend when sizing your kit, think about sizing your pond slightly smaller than what the actual kit size is recommended for. Now this liner we're using is a 45 mil fish safe EPDM liner. The thing you have to know is it's fish safe and it lasts an extraordinarily long time. We've had some of these ponds put in the ground for over 30 years. The only thing known to break this stuff down is the UV rays from the sun. So in an application like this, where every square inch of it is gonna be covered with boulders and gravel, and no way can UV light come towards the liner, it's gonna outlast any single one of us, our kids' kids, and those kids. Obviously, it's very important to make sure you have enough liner on your edges. It's also really important to make sure you have enough liner in front of your skimmer box, because here we're gonna have to pull this down. I wanna pull a little bit in front and then hook this up, which we'll get into in a second. I really wanna make sure I also have enough liner up the face of my skimmer or my biofalls over here. Notice the way we position the liner. We didn't position the liner in a rectangle like we had before. We went from one corner to another corner over here. That extends the liner just that much longer. It's not that we stretched it, we're just taking advantage of those corners. So from corner to corner, we get a little bit more flexibility. This is plenty of liner in this area to do my biofalls and to build my waterfall in front of that. The only other thing I would look at before we start rocking in the pond is maybe getting rid of some of these folds. So inevitably, you're gonna get folds in here. What I wanna do is just take a little bit of extra time and lay these folds down, getting them nice and flat. Then I can come in and put my liner or my rocks on top of here. I don't wanna see these folds up like this, because if I put a rock here and a rock like that, it creates a pinch point, and I worry about putting a hole in the liner. So lay them down nice and flat all over the pond.